When people talk about extreme wealth,
Whoa, hold on a second. Marxist roofer. Okay, I think I may have found a title for this video already. But anyway, extreme wealth. Do go on.
they generally don't grasp the negative side effects that hoarded wealth has on the rest of society.
Abolish wealth. So if I have $5 more in my pocket than the next guy, what happens to my $5? You're going to hold me under what? Penalty of law for having it? Are we going to institute the opposite of debtors' prisons? Like wealthy prisons? I have no idea where this is going.
40 million people in America today are food insecure, while the ultra-rich control more wealth than the GDP of many countries. For example, Jeff Bezos' personal fortune of $160 billion is equal to the gross domestic product of Kazakhstan, a nation of 14 million people.
Oh my God! This can only be the result of evil!
The median income in the United States is a little more than $50,000 a year. This means the average working person would have to work 20,000 years to accumulate $1 billion.
Uh-huh. So what?
This begs the question, how can a person justify hoarding such an extravagant amount of money while the average person struggles just to make ends meet?
How can they justify hoarding it? How can you justify forcing them to do otherwise?
The answer, of course, is that there is no justification for it.
There doesn't have to be a justification.
And it speaks to the general immorality of a society that allows privileged individuals to enjoy untold luxury while children go hungry.
Hungry children. You want to use hungry children as a guilt trip against wealth and capitalism. So, there are no hungry children in China? There are no hungry children in Cuba? There were no hungry children in the Soviet Union? Is that really your opening argument?
Individual billionaires have the ability to end problems like hunger and homelessness if their money was managed democratically.
If their money was managed democratically. So the rest of society should decide how and when to spend my money, and simply throwing money at the issues of hunger and homelessness will solve hunger and homelessness. Got it.
Instead, they make paltry donations to their family foundations and lecture the working poor on pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Who said that? Did Jeff Bezos say that? Well, I guess I'll just have to take your word for it. Though, it is not necessarily an inaccurate sentiment. It all depends on the circumstances and the individual.
The audacity of societies extremely wealthy to lecture us workers about our moral failings obscures the very basic fact that we produce enough food to feed everybody.
Who is going to grow and process this food? And how will they be compensated for their labor?
And have enough housing to provide everyone with a home. We just choose not to.
Who is going to build these homes? Who will compensate them for their labor? What is going to power these homes? Who will maintain the power grid? And how will those people be compensated? I mean, it just kind of goes off into an infinite regression of questions, doesn't it? Because food and housing are not just conjured out of the ether of wishful thinking.
As someone who works a blue-collar job for a living, I'm already familiar with the struggle to make ends meet. The idea that a select few who make as much money in seconds as I make in a year deserve to continue to accumulate untold wealth is morally wrong and disgusting to me.
So, if your roofing business took off, if you owned your own roofing business, let's say, and you were able to provide your family with better food and a better house, you would be morally wrong and disgusting to yourself. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be a millionaire or a billionaire, but you would certainly have much more than the homeless or than starving children. How would you justify that?
But it's almost unquestioned in today's economic and political discourse. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently referred to the existence of billionaires as policy failures, which is absolutely true.
The existence of billionaires is a policy failure. Huh, well, I guess that's why there are no billionaires in communist China, since they... Oh no!
On a more fundamental level, there's system failures. A failure of our capitalist economic system to do anything at all to ensure a basic standard of living is afforded to its most vulnerable and vital component, its workers.
Oh no. Oh no!
On an even deeper level, billionaires and multimillionaires are moral failures, the moral failings of our society as a whole.
So, if a poor person wins a multi-million-dollar lottery, they immediately become an economic sinner? The larger your bank account, the worse a person you are? So, I assume then that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be giving away her $174,000 a year salary, that she will do events and speaking tours and lobbying after her political career for free? I mean, you wouldn't want her to become an evil millionaire, would you? But if she did, what exactly are you going to do about it?
Their existence speaks to a fundamentally backwards economy that allows the wealthy an ever-increasing decadence and luxury while at the same time degrading the basic standards of living for everyone else.
Yes, okay, you have made this same claim in various ways several times to this point. Now, what exactly are you proposing in order to solve the problem of monetary success?
These are not impossible challenges for our society, but they do require us to acknowledge that an economic system that overwhelmingly favors the rich and that privatizes basic human needs is not, and never will be, the best system for working class people like you and me.
Oh no!
We spend our lives chasing the carrot on a stick of the American dream, of maybe being rich ourselves someday. But it almost never happens. And even if it does, it leaves everyone else who is struggling worse off.
Personally, I don't have any great desire to be rich, per se. I desire to earn and save enough to be comfortable, because I don't live an extravagant lifestyle, nor have much of an urge to create one for myself. But if someone wants to head out into the world with the ambition and drive to make themselves rich, why should I stop them? And why should they be punished by you for succeeding simply because you did not?
It's time to build a new American dream, one where we don't leave anyone behind, where there are no millionaires or billionaires, where we're all able to have enough food and a roof over our heads at night.
So, a Marxist utopia. Okay. Tell me about the last Marxist state that had everyone being fed and everyone having a roof over their head. Go ahead. Tell me about that successful Marxist state. I'll wait. As always, thank you for watching.